Hi, and welcome back to Chef Hacker Kitchen. Now, have you seen the Hulu show called The Bear? I admit I only started watching it a few weeks ago, but I ended up binging the first 3 seasons in that short amount of time. And as I'm recording this, we're sitting 5 days from the season 4's drop. Now that'll be on June 25th, 2025, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now listen, if you came here for a recipe, don't fear. It's here. It's a hacked version of the only thing that makes money at the Bear. That is the Italian beef sandwich, and it's delicious. It's at the end of this video, so jump ahead if that's what you came here for. But first, I hope you'll take a few minutes to share your thoughts in the comments below. I've been away from professional kitchens for a long time, but when I watch The Bear, I find myself thinking, yeah, that's exactly the way it was. It was exactly like that. Well, except we did a lot less swearing. Well, maybe we only did a lot less swearing in English. We may have used a similar number of curse words, only we spit them out in the Spanish, Greek, and Mandarin languages. But aside from that, everything else, the long hours and high pressure, the errors in recovery, the back of house, front of house friction, equipment failures, and especially working with colleagues, all who either acted crazy, had just been released from lockup or a methadone program, or hid in the basement when Immigration and Naturalization Services showed up. All that was exactly how I remember it. We were all oddballs and social misfits, and thankful that we had the skills to be accepted in probably the only place for us, which was the kitchen. So let me ask you, is it still like that in the business? What's it like on the line nowadays? Is Spanish still the top language? Now, if you are not up to date on season 3 of The Bear, you may want to stop here to avoid any spoilers. Just jump down if you want the recipe. But if you're up to speed, let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you agree the way I do that season 3 was good but not quite as good as the first 2 seasons of The Bear? Do you feel that Richard's character transformation from being a cut-up to being a caring person is a little too drastic in the amount of time that they spent with it? Will Uncle Jimmy realize the profit he needs to forestall foreclosure on the Bear? And what about Sydney? Is she going to sign the contract and become a part owner, or is she going to jump ship? And finally, is it all over between Carmy and Claire? Maybe you have some questions of your own or some comments about the season. If you do, the series. If you do, go ahead and use the comments below and let me know what they are. Or jump over to the website, chefhackerkitchen.com, and use the leave a reply in the section about The Bear. Okay? Either way, I promise I'll get back to you. Now for the recipe. All right, so we're going to salt and pepper both sides of the roast, and we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of oil. This is olive oil. You can use any oil really in the pan, and we are going to brown both sides, or if you have a thicker cut, each side of the meat. You want it nice and brown because it's going to develop flavor. We're going to make a mirepoix of celery, carrot, and onion, and we're going to also chop some garlic. All right, now we're going to cut up some peppercini. This is the hack. I like to add peppercini in addition to the jardiniere because it gives a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a spice, and a bit more vinegary flavor. All right, that looks good, so we'll remove that, set it aside, and we're going to go ahead and use that same pan to saute our vegetables. That's the mirepoix portion and the garlic. Once the vegetables are somewhat brown, we're going to use some stock to deglaze the pan, then we're going to add our peppercini. Return the beef to the pan, and add in enough stock to cover it about halfway. We're going to put that in a 350 degree oven as soon as we add our giardiniera and our Italian seasoning. Cover it up with some foil or a cover if you have a lid that fits the pot, and put it in the oven for about 30 minutes at 350. What we're looking for is we would like that meat to get an internal temperature of about 125 degrees. And then we're going to pull it out of the oven and set it aside. From that point, carryover cooking will eventually let the internal temperature go up to about 145 degrees, which would be perfect for rare. So go ahead and use your meat thermometer and make sure you get it to 125. When you do, let it rest. We're going to let it cool a little bit, and then we're going to go ahead and transfer it to a refrigerator to cool it even further. The colder it gets, the easier it will be to slice it thinly. Then we're going to take the broth and the vegetables, and we're going to put it in a saucepan. And we're going to take that pan and bring it to a gentle simmer. Now we get our rolls, and we go ahead. I like to blunt the ends because it's more of a traditional look for this sandwich. And if you're going to go ahead and dip it in juice later, it'll soak it up. All right, now we take the beef and we slice it as thin as possible. I mean, if you had a meat slicer and you can get it even thinner, that would be great. Now you're going to say, boy, that's far too rare. Well, it's not really, because you're going to see in a few minutes we're going to dip it. All right, when you're about ready to serve it, you go ahead and take enough beef for your sandwich and you dip it into that simmering liquid. You're only going to keep it in there for 3 or 4 seconds. You really just want some of the flavorful broth to infuse in the beef. Then you're going to put it out directly onto your roll, and make sure that you fill the roll nicely. Add some of the vegetables and then some of the broth. And as I said earlier, some people will even dip the ends in. Now, don't skip this step. Take your sandwich and wrap it in some parchment paper. Fold the end and then fold in the sides and go ahead and roll it. Now set it aside and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then it's ready to be eaten. Cut it in half, and that's Chicagoland beef sandwich. Go ahead and like this video if you like it. Don't forget to make some comments down below or to jump over to the website. See you next time in Chef Hacker Kitchen.